What is up with it? Today we are back and we're going to be watching another high ranked gameplay. I'm around 20th on the ladder at this point when this was recorded. I'm going to be playing Emu versus a red black Sabo. Before we get into it, if anyone has any Altar Gorses that they want to move me, let me know. I'm trying to get those. They're too fire. I need them in my life. I would very much appreciate it. But missed the first turn. I think I started recording just slightly late. But the Sabo having dice roll. We're going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to go ahead and play out this Shalria. Yeah, grabbing Saturn makes a lot of sense. We definitely want that for our 5-Dawn turn. And you're normally good to pass up the first Elder, no problem. Can go ahead and play out the Charlos here. Our hand's looking pretty decent. We have the horse for the 7-Dawn turn if he puts his board sideways at all. We have the bird and trash already. No problem. Found a second Warcurry. This one probably won't come up, so we'll probably use it as counter. Here we have to grab this Elders. We already trashed one. Probably could have rearranged our bottom deck a little bit better if we cared to do such a thing. Ooh. Looking to pitch the Nesjuro. That's fine. We can just double Warcurry next turn. But this Nesjuro also could have been good just to remove the hack next turn if he chose to put this sideways. But they didn't, so never punished. You'll love to see it. I mean, here I think we should definitely just be going double Warcurry. Probably using leader skill to pitch the Mars. In the think tank here. I think this is a pretty easy pitch Mars double Warcurry line. With intent of going Peter next turn. And yep, it appears as though that's what we're doing. We might not Peter, it kind of depends on how things are looking. But almost certainly we will. I think we have everyone as well. Yeah, we have everyone. All the amigos. So the opponent's going to go ahead and play out this Sabo. No dragon here is pretty fortunate for us. A dragon into the Sabo is always like insane. I mean, come on. I think this is a pretty free block with Charlos. And here I think this would be a reasonable counter with a Jupiter. I think that would be pretty reasonable. But we're thinking here, maybe considering a take, maybe considering a block for the draw. But I think ultimately just a counter would make the most sense, yeah. We speed this up a little bit. I'm playing low-key kind of slow AF. I think that's a pretty easy take. We want to have as many swings for Jupiter as possible. And we found a second 10 drop, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Question is, how do we want to do these swings? Opponent has 5 cards in hand. We definitely want to milk him a little bit. 7 at 6 seems like a pretty decent swing to start off. If we go 7 at 6 again, he might free block. And then in that situation, we could go 8 at the hack. And then we could go 9 at the Sabo. As for double 2, We probably have a good idea of what's in the opponent's hand, but I genuinely do not remember what it is. Oh, going 8 here? I think I would have liked a 9 a bit more, but maybe because of the Sabo standing, that's why we wanted to do it that way. Yeah, not wanting to turn the War Curry sideways. Okay, fair enough. I actually think leader skilling right there was a mistake. You know, I think everyone, myself included, gets in a habit of like, oh, I got a leader skill. I got a leader skill, but sometimes you don't have to, honestly. Like, we gave up a 2K for what? I mean, it didn't matter because we drew a 1K. But imagine we drew a brick. You know, then that would be pretty disastrous. Also, not exactly sure why they killed the War Curry before the Saturn. That seemed like a really odd choice to me. The opponent also deciding they do not wish to get milked any further. I think, yeah, 5 at life, see what they do. Okay, or we just want to go 7s. Yeah, I guess we can leave the leader skill tucked back in case any of these they want to block. So that way, like, they want to block counter, and then that way we have an additional swing with the Nesturo. That actually makes a lot of sense. Can go ahead and play this 5 Elders. Yep, always trashing the Mars. Useless card in this matchup. We can grab the 3K spell, seems reasonable. Here we can go 8, minusing the blocker. And then probably just another 8, leaving up a couple Dawn. We do have to math out, do we die to a Roger if we deal this damage? The swings would be like 6, 7. Those are, that's all we have to counter out of is a 6 and a 7. Or I guess it would be a 7 and a 7, but we live that with the greatest of ease. So no reason not to swing here. And it does appear as though the opponent is going to go for that good old 7-7. We definitely want to counter this one. I could be convinced that this next 7, you actually... Oh. Okay, once we counter out of that, they actually decide to go in a different direction. Maybe there's an argument to be made. We could have taken that 7 just to bait them to turn these blockers. Because we definitely do not have math at this point. So we want to split 6 ways if possible. I think we probably always start with an 8 just to try and get a reaction out of them. We can play Saturn for 3. Yeah, we can go 6 8s. I think 6 8s is probably always the way. He blocks 2. He blocks 2. And then he has to give us 8 cards after that. I think he just gave us 2. So he'd have to give us 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'd have to have a nearly perfect hand. Which when he gives us the double 1s, we know that is no longer the case. Because, yeah, even if he gives us 2 cards on these next 2, I guess, yeah, he could. Because it was a nearly perfect hand, not a perfect hand. Technically, if he was just trying to bait us to go for it. Yeah, and he says GG, and I'm still out here thinking about it. Yeah, but he's dead. Or what I was thinking about actually in that moment, I think, was I was thinking about playing the 3-7 ever better than attaching the Dawn. And I'm pretty sure it took exactly the same amount of counter. It's only more efficient to play this, I believe, if they're a 5K. Like if you, let's say you just use this 3 Dawn and you attach it to the second character, right? Then you're doing 1 10K swing, which takes 2, 2, 2. If you go 7, 7 into a 5K leader, it's 2-1, 2-1, which is the same total counter but takes more cards. So it's better in that sense that it takes more cards, but it's not technically like more counter. But if you go versus a 6K leader, you go 10, that's 2-2-1. You go 7-7, it's just 2-2. So it's 1K less. Right? 7-7 is just 2-2. 10, 2-2-1. Yep. And then if there are 5, 10 is 2-2-2. And 7-7 is 2-1, 2-1. So 6K counter, 2-1, 2-1. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I know not everyone is rocking with this format. I go kind of back and forth on it myself. You know, as I always say, if I do good in the format, it's a good format. If I don't, it's a bad format. That's just how it is. But I appreciate you all rocking with me. If you want to help support the channel, go ahead and check out the link in the description for my Medify, where you can become a supporter of the channel. I appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your day.